Good morning, traders. This is Michael James with Uncharted Profits Daily. Got another great trade setup for you this morning, this time on the SPDR S&P Regional Banking ETF, symbol KRE, which a few sessions ago closed above its minor bearish trend, which you can find by starting here on June 16th, drawing a trend line going down, connecting as many highs as you can, drawing the line as steep as possible. As you can see, it definitely closed above that trend line here on Monday, June 26th, before gaining further. And while normally we'd look at bull setups on the breakout day here on Monday, there were a few more things to consider with this stock, or with this ETF, I should say, that we're going to get into in a second. First, I want to show you something going on with the SPY that you may find interesting. Okay, so here we have the SPY, which gained modestly yesterday, rising almost 0.4%. Prior to that, it had a minor bearish trend back here on June 16th, the same day as KRE, where we drew that trend line. Start here, draw the trend line down, connecting as many highs as you can. Right there, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Right there, that's usually the minimum I like to draw my trend lines. If there's 5 days, I'll draw the line to 5. If there's less, I'll take what I have available. But here we got a 5-day trend line after this high here. And the SPY actually took out that trend line back on Tuesday, June 27th. And on that day, it also had a low stochastic indicator reading of only 15.87. That's actually oversold. Any reading below 20 would suggest the stock, or in this case, the ETF, is oversold. And you know, if you see my other videos, I like to see a stochastic indicator reading less than 60 on bull setup. So this is really a SPY or S&P or just general market bull setup, telling us that if the S&P rises, or the SPY here rises much further, we're likely due for a short-term uptrend. Stocks could actually go higher here, even though all that gloom and doom and hawkishness from the Fed. Powell recently went full hawk in recent comments before other central bankers at a central banker conference in Portugal. Stocks could just go higher. They could continue marching higher. Well, certain stocks, I should say, but the general market, it also looks like that's going to be possible. And so for us, that'd probably be a move around 440 here. If it takes out 440, that's a level of psychological resistance right there. There's a big chunk of options waiting there to be fired off. If the SPY exceeds 440, that's also true for the S&P 500 options and derivatives. So that may be really the next launch point for the next rally if it arrives. If the SPY stalls out here and doesn't hit that point, we could be looking at a lower high, which bulls would hate to see. This line here relative to the high back here. But now, as of yesterday's close, fortune kind of favors bulls, provided they can get to 440 in a short amount of time. Here, time's running out before this rally will eventually run out of spit. So they got a few days to do it. If they can make it, we may see more gains coming for the general market. Okay, and one last thing, I do want to remind you that the methodology we'll be using to look at KRE today is the same methodology that I use when making my Uncharted Profits Daily Picks, which I send out every evening after the market closes for every day that trading is open. If you'd like to receive those alerts with the specific entry price listed right there on the chart for each trade, all you have to do is go to the link in the description below on this video, be taken to this page here, click this button on the right-hand side of the page, fill out this information, click Get Free Alerts Now. The next time I send an alert out, you'll receive it in your inbox with that specific entry price for that setup listed right there on the chart. Okay, so as promised, let's go back to KRE and look at this bull setup here. So we had that close above this minor bearish trend, which was great to see. However, the 10-day moving average was aggressively negatively sloping. I really don't like to see that on bull moves. I want the 10 to kind of slope higher and turn the corner here, and that's exactly what happened yesterday as the 10 slowed its descent. It started to turn back up, and that was fantastic. And KRE even closed above the 10-day moving average, which is even better when looking for bull setups. The 20-day moving average is this orange line running up and down the chart right here. This is sloping upward. That's great. We'd like to see the stock, the ETF in this case, above this line in addition to the 10, but considering how far it had fallen, that probably wasn't going to happen. Or I should say this is giving us an opportunity to get in before it really takes off and you can get in at a better price. The stochastic indicator reading at the bottom of the chart here is at 38.13. Like I said about the SPY, I like to see stochastic indicator readings below 60 when looking for bull setups. A lot of traders, 80 is their threshold. For me, it's 60. I really want this thing to have room to run should it run into resistance, which hopefully it will if this is going to turn into a nice bullish trade. You want it to have enough firepower to blast through there through resistance at these highs back here. Finally, KRE is setting a higher low right here along this green line right there relative to this low. Oops, one more time. Relative to this low back here and this low here, which arguably this is also a higher low. We had low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So this is kind of a ping-ponging uptrend where the moves are starting to get bigger, and that's good news for traders who want to take a big move on this ETF. Food for thought. This is unrelated completely to technical analysis, something I normally don't talk about. Currently, regional banking stocks are being shorted big time by hedge funds. So you could argue that there is major short squeeze potential on this ETF if those shorts fail and eventually the regional banking stocks, which feed into the regional banking ETF, of course, which tracks those stocks, take off. And so we could see a major melt up here should that short squeeze emerge, which track record for hedge funds recently on short squeezes has not been great. And who knows? Activist investors may be ready to pile into regional banks of all things. You know, GameSpot is old news apparently. Or excuse me, GameStop is old news apparently. So keep an eye out. KRE, great setup. All good reasons to take a bullish position on this ETF should it take out yesterday's high at 41.73 by a significant amount in addition to the 20 SMA. Once again, if you'd like to receive trade setups like this one directly to your inbox with the trade entry price listed right there on the chart, all you have to do is click the link in the description on this video, take you to this site here, click this button, fill out this information, click Get Free Alerts Now. The next time that I send out my number one trade of the day, it'll come straight to your inbox with that entry price listed right there on the chart, on a method that has done wonderful over the last year and a half, more than tripling our options trading portfolio with these picks. All right, thanks again for watching. This has been Michael James with Uncharted Profits Daily. I will see you next time.